Yes, how are you? Okay. When I would say there were two factions of UPC, and this was a fight between two factions, I can conclusively tell you today that there is no faction in UPC, there's only one UPC. Reason being, the other baby long died. There's only one UPC in existence. And those whose baby has died are fighting for the live baby. Now, when you talk about operation of the account, do you know who the biggest contributors of that account are? That account gets contributions every month religiously from members of parliament. Who are the members of parliament? Jimmy Akena, Betty Amongi, Maxwell Akora, Bobo Kai, Kenya Uma, Honorable Santa Lum, all members nominated by this UPC. There is no MP from any faction which people like to talk about. Not a single one anywhere. Now, who are these who are fighting for account which I contribute to every month? They have not put 1 shilling. They want to say the account. Now they want to say I should account to them for money which I put for the support of candidates which I've supported. No, let us be real. I will fight to defend this baby. I would ask parents around here, what would you do for your child? You have one child. Somebody wants to destroy that child. I will do everything in my power to protect that child. And that child exists because we have done so. We are in parliament. We are not the biggest in parliament, but we are in parliament because we are fought to be there. We're in local government. We head local governments because we have struggled to be there. We head municipal councils. We have struggled. We head sub-county councils. We are there. The people who are talking, who are saying they're going to fight, where are they? Other than the media and running around in court filing case after case after case, UPC will persevere. This is my first term as a member of parliament, carrying the party flag. In all these terms, I have been contributing to the UPC party. I would challenge any of these people to show their contribution. Financially, let them show how much they've contributed to this party. Let them go out and show me where they've campaigned for people in this country. UPC is here to stay. They may wish me ill, they may fight me, but I'll ensure with all the ability I have that UPC continues to exist and UPC is represented at all levels of government in this country. Most of these people come out of the woodwork on the eve of election. Now, who did not know 2021 election was coming? The only threat to 2021 election was COVID. Now, 2021 elections came. Who stood for election? Any of these people talking, did they stand for election? No. Did they? No. Those who have stood, I can pull out their records. Most of them are dismal failures. But they can talk. That is not going to stop us mobilizing, organizing for the party. It won't. We have struggled to keep this party afloat, and I'll struggle. I'll continue struggling. They will throw cases at me. I will keep on struggling to make sure UPC is standing. Because these people actually want UPC to disappear. If you don't want us who are carrying the flag in parliament, who is going to carry the flag? Because it's not us who determine. You have to go to the electorate. Who has gone to the electorate? No. UPC is here to stay. Yes, madam. That's why I said at some point we did have factions. Because the other faction had one member of parliament. Today, 0. District chairman, 0. District councillors, 0. Municipal mayors, 0. So who am I talking to? Yes, there are thousands of members, there are millions of members. Why are these members trying to hold the party hostage? Let them go out, get a constituency, we sit down and we talk. I've never denied anyone a flag. Whoever of the other faction, even people I pleaded with, take the party flag, go for the election. If you're elected, there's no way I'll ignore you. But prove your worth. Go to the electorate. I always engage. My door remains open. But I'm asking them, prove your worth. Who did not know that's what I'm saying, who did not know 2021 election was coming? What happened? Were you not ready? Did you not know? The whole country knew 2021 election was coming. After election or before election, you start running around, create chaos. Then a lot of the time they go quiet. Now the heating up of 2026 is coming, people are springing up from the woodworks. Are they going to go to the electorate? Are they going to carry the party flag? I doubt it. I pray with them that they go and meet the electorate, carry the party flag, but I seriously doubt it. That does not mean I will not talk to them. I will always talk. Yes. As opposed to one which is only existing in theory. I agree, FDC has factions because both factions have ground. Both factions have ground. And it will damage their prospects because both factions have ground. Many of the people who are talking in UPC, I can tell you honestly, they can be ignored and it will have no effect on the ground. That's the honest truth. If you want me to break down individuals, I can break down, I can give you quotes of where they stood, when they last stood. Example, Professor Kakonge. I think the man is 90 plus. Has only stood in one general election. No, it wasn't even a general election. It was when they were expanding the NRC. And as a minister in the NRM government, he went and stood. That is the last time Kakonge has stood in any election. Last. That is what, 89, 90? How many years ago was that? He has never stood in an election. Name them, I'll give you their background. I respect everybody who goes out, faces the electorate. Even where it does not work out, I have a lot of respect for people who actually participate in elections. It's not easy. And therefore, any leader who is elected at any level has my utmost respect. I will never ignore, I will listen to, and I'll do everything to support them in their election. But people who sit around and just cook up things, When the ruling came, I applied to the higher court for a stay of execution. That was granted. I stayed in office on the orders for a higher court. Even when we were going for the delegates conference, it is one of the issues I put in my statement here, they sought 3 orders. 1, that I am to vacate office. 2, that the delegates conference does not take place. And 3, that the accounts be blocked. The one where I'm supposed to vacate office was not granted. Meaning that every action I took, every letter or any action I took as president remained valid. Now, 2020 we had our delegates conference. The ruling came 1 month after. There was a challenge, the one of contempt of court. It has been dismissed in the Court of Appeal. So what do you people want me to do? Right now, you're trying to deal with something of the last term. So if there's a ruling tomorrow on what took place in the 10th Parliament, how are you going to effect it? Yeah, but how do you effect it? That's why things are said overtaken by events. We are now in the 11th Parliament. We are not in the 10th Parliament. We are in the 11th Parliament. And our elections as UPC must rhyme with the national elections. Why are people always trying to be out of sync? I hear somebody saying they were elected in a delegates conference in December of 2020. Honestly, I will challenge any journalist here, and I'll even pay. Bring me video of a UPC delegates conference in December of 2020, I'll pay 10 million cash. On NBS, when you talk about political thing, I always see that picture of us at our delegates conference. Live human beings, dressed in the party color, singing party songs. What happened? Where was this delegates conference of 2020? Did anyone see it? Did anyone attend? Those are figments of people's imagination. I live in the real world. And, okay, the big issue here is to deal with judicial review. I am not a lawyer, but over this period of time I've learned one or two things about law. Perhaps I can either follow Male Mabilizi's way of pursuing some of these issues, or this Kenyan who has won 26 cases without stepping into a law school. But judicial review, when it does not look at the merits, if I was given opportunity, the one case I would love to pursue is this issue of going to the bush. If we put going to the bush under judicial review, where you cannot give your reasons as to why you went to the bush, you'll be found guilty. Every life you took, you are guilty. Every action you took against the sitting government, you are guilty. Every opportunity where you did not exercise the ability of the court, you are guilty. Let me try and take that to judicial review. That's the crazy thing about judicial review. I wake up in the middle of the night, I find somebody has broken into my home, my child is at danger, I will pounce on that person. If I take that life under judicial review, I am guilty. Under a normal process, they can look at extenuating circumstance. It can be involuntary manslaughter. There are different ways where they can look at it, but not under judicial review. So, we want to pursue this one. Maybe one day, one time, we may have to look at going to the bush and put it under judicial review. And I would love to see what the justices come up with. That would be one. And I hope this, what was the phrase which they used during the Mama Mbabazi case? These ones who were friends of the court. Something Curie. Amicus Curie, yes. I would love to see prominent lawyers in Uganda take up this issue. Let us put this issue of going to the bush under judicial review. That outcome will be very informative and maybe will guide future generations. Maybe that's not a path to follow. And that one I'll support 110%. Any other questions? Yes, madam. Going for an electoral process. We started in court. Court found the then president was de facto, i.e. his term had expired. And the Constitution states very clearly on Article 26(2) that when this Constitution comes into force, the president elected under the old Constitution for a term of 7 years shall continue to hold that office for a term not exceeding 5 years from the time of his election, his or her election. 5 years. Constitution says that. We have in UPC that 5 years had passed, we did not have a president. The roadmap which was issued, the delegates conference was to take place on the 10th of June, 2015. When we came out of court, it was 1st of June, 2015. When we came out of court, it was moved to 10th of July of the same 2015. On 21st of June, it was postponed indefinitely. Now, we're caught in this situation. Elections are looming. At that time, the special interest group elections had started, the nominations had started. What do you do? Those of us who want to fight for elections, what do we do? We're caught in an awkward situation. The party doesn't want to call delegates conference. I took initiative. Court have found me under judicial review to be wrong. But I can tell you, without doing that one, UPC would not have been represented in the 10th Parliament. It was not going to happen. Then you have a president resigning 7 years of a 5-year presidency. What does the Constitution say about the one who succeeds a president? In the event that the position of party president becomes vacant, the vice president shall assume the office of president and shall convene a delegates conference within 6 months to elect a new president. Boss assumed office 1 year, 2 years, 2.5 years, he appoints a vice president. At that time he was sick, he passes away. That vice president takes over office, 6 months lapse, no election. There's been no delegates conference called. What do you do? Now we're having this situation that if a president does not call an election, you sit and wait. Are we not promoting dictatorship? If suddenly they say no, elections are too expensive, let's stop elections in Uganda, do we just sit? What do you do? I might have made mistakes in doing what I had to do, but I had to do something. Delegates conferences were not called. In the whole presidency of Laura Tuno, there was never one delegates conference. Me, who is faulted, I have held. Pictures are there. People have seen. Cameras were there. But I am guilty. But I'm guilty of trying to promote UPC. But honestly, what do you do? This is what the Constitution says. 6 months. Now you had a de facto president handing over to a vice president. I don't know if the vice president is also de facto. How can he become de jure if the president was de facto? Supposed to be for 6 months. He's there for 2+ years. Next one is there for another. What is happening? I will admit the 2020, we were 1 month late. But that late delay was because of COVID. We could not have our meetings. And when COVID allowed us, when the government allowed us to have a meeting, immediately we convened. I have no fear of meeting the delegates. I long for it. But just wait. I've said that we're going to call National Council. You're going to see letters flying. You're going to hear court issues. There are people who fear delegates, fear convening meetings, but want to call themselves leaders. I'm not one of them. Show me where it says vacate. I've not seen it. The 2015-2020 period, I vacated. Those who were in Kasangati, I vacated the office. Handed it back to the delegates. I effectively resigned in front of the delegates because the power was with the delegates. That was 2020. So you want me to vacate what, where, how? And for whom? For those who have never been elected? Yes, sir. Dealt with the interlocutory orders, full stop. The orders issued on 29th July 2020. Don't hold delegates conference, don't use party accounts. Full stop. It did not deal with any other matter except that one. The rest of it is the context under which it was delivered, but it was dealing with those two issues. Whether, one, we could go to the Supreme Court directly. And I read the paragraph which says, yes, in the circumstances, at that time, yes. But when they're given the ruling Friday 13th, 2023, we don't have an election. We had the election. Now, I brought in the aspect of the delegates conference took place. I was taken to court for contempt. Court of Appeal dismissed that case. So what do you want me to do? Somebody wants me to resign. I don't know where to.
AU.
UPC.
NUPC. NUPC. UPC. UPC. We are moving forward. Everyone.
UPC.
And everybody.
UPC.
Everywhere.